Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. It is Friday, the 3rd of May. We've had some news this morning. As you can see, I did an evaluation, did an OCO order. I think I went long above there and short below there, and it shot up that quick. Instead of it, well, I had a target set at 6 points and a tick, which will just give me about $3,125, which covers the fees, and it shot up that quick. It actually got me out for $8,000 in the end, so that will add to my tally. So what are we doing here at the moment? We've had that push up. We seem to be going sideways, so I've put a line from these 2 points just to see if we get down and start something at the bottom of this possible channel. We're very close to fitting at the tops. We have some news coming up, some more news coming up. ISM services in around about 30 minutes. Market is due to open in about 20 seconds, I think. So be interesting to see. I was looking for a couple of legs and then maybe pick up this point here. So as we've pushed up the way it's going sideways, I think a lot of the times when it does that, it does continue on up. So I am expecting it to push up, maybe a leg and a leg, but we'll see anyway. It's a bit too early. So let's have a look. Okay, market is just opened. So we've pushed up here, bearish bar. Let's see if that triggers and it pushes up, or we get down to this level. And there is a possibility I could put it from that bar there and to cross that, which would intercept that line. But I kind of like where it touches in those 3 places, so I just have to keep an eye on that. Let me just move that, just see if it does work. Yeah, it does actually. That might be a better option. Not sure. I'd still like it to come down a bit further, but we'll have a look, see what happens anyway. See if it does push up from there. 2 legs back and a bullish bar. Is this going to continue up? It's hard to say. I want this to come back down. In fact, I'm going to leave that where it was because I like it. So let's put that there and the start of that bar there. Intercept those 2 lines. Fits quite nice there. So if we can come down here and touch this area. So actually maybe I can put that up there now. That actually fits all right, to be fair. Got a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars there. I like that. Let's see what happens when we come to this line. See if we can intercept that line and take it further on up. Okay, that's interesting. It's a doji close right on that line. So it may mean something, it may mean nothing, but I want to pick it off when it's on its way up again. So what I'd like to see is 1 leg and then 2 legs. And then a continuation. I mean, I can adjust that ever so slightly and it would still work. I can put that there and it still works perfectly fine. It actually works a little bit better with the top, I think. Could even come down a little bit more. But if we can get 2 legs and then a continuation, that would suit me. So let's move that a fraction more. It's looking even better at the top now. Leg and a leg. fact, let's put that down to there. Can I get it to work at the bottom? Touch, 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 close enough. Fit in nice at the top. If it goes any further, obviously it's not, but whenever we don't recover this straight away, a lot of the times we do continue one up, so it may be 2 legs and then up we go again. It might not be also, it could be we could be just laying some range tops there, in which case it's going to come down, but so push up, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt, so I consider that as 2 legs. Let's see what we're looking like up here. Speedy, how you doing, my friend? But yeah. Okay, let's see if we get up higher. At the moment, this is a more of an educated guess rather than okay, let's ditch it for the minute. So channel break, new low. So we could just be putting out some range tops and down we come. It's hard to say at the moment. And this could fail and push back in and go higher, or it could come up to the EMA and then drop. So channel 2 legs up on the NQ. Is that a 2nd entry short on the NQ? I'm just going steady at the moment because my concern is it continues on higher. Soon find out if this bar triggers, whether it goes. So channel down, 2nd entry short. I don't like where it is. EMA's flat. It's closed a little bit above that, and that could continue on up. This to me doesn't look like it's in a hurry to recover this. So there is a failure there. So channel break, new high. There is a higher low there on the ES, but I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Okay, so channel, couple of legs up, and it looks like down, so maybe we are just putting out some range tops. Maybe this is going to end up just being a bigger channel, sorry, a bigger range rather. Hard to say at the moment, so let's make this a little larger. Okay, what is this NQ doing? Is it coming down or is it working up? Looks to me like it may be working up. It's going a bit sideways, so I'm not sure about this at the moment. So let's see if we can get something to fit here. So channel break new low, came back into this little range here. So I have a feeling this is going to go up for another leg. ERP, how you doing, buddy? Bullish certainly looks like, isn't it? Excuse me. We've had this big strong push up and just some sideways with a little drop out of this and then push back in. So yeah, it does look bullish to me. I just want to get that other news out of the way so I can focus on looking for a setup. But yeah, bullish is my thoughts at the moment. I thought when we came down here and bounced, it may be a bigger range, but I'm not so sure whether it's that or not. I don't know. It could be a little spike and then a channel. You think with this big push up like this, sometimes it doesn't actually fit, but it's surprising even with a little bit of erratic news, it can still fit. I mean, initially I had it down there, and it fitted sort of better on the top. Now, it could be. Now, technically, we've had a touch there and a touch there and a touch there, but it's whether you consider that a touch. I mean, prices come down to it. In fact, there was a trade there I would have taken if I'd have been on the chart. A second entry long. We've had 2 legs up, 2 legs back, and a nice second entry long. Bar wasn't fantastic, but it was certainly more on the bullish side, which worked. But it was just close to the news. I wasn't here at the time, but so whether it is something like that, I mean, it's definitely incorporating that. Whether it's there or whether it's here. It's one of the two. I'm just going to leave it there just for a minute. Let's put it there. We've still got a couple of touches even, you know. I'll say. Chad, how you doing, bud? So much PA above and below the EMA, I believe. This is just a range. Yeah, it could be. When we had a drop out this and we bounced and came down, I thought, yeah, but after that strong push up, it doesn't seem to be in a hurry to recover it. And when it goes sideways, obviously that's how ranges usually sort of channels work, don't they? We push up, go a bit sideways, we push up, go a bit sideways, push up, bit sideways, push up, bit sideways. So that could just be a larger version, push up sideways, push up sideways. Obviously we've got some more news coming up, so if the news is slightly on the negative side, you know, so technically, depending on how the bar finishes there, it's a triple test, but it's clearly ranging, and we've broken out the bottom there. So often after we have a breakout at the bottom, we have one at the opposite end, so I wouldn't be looking to take a short here. I'm just going to sit tight here a minute. Not only that, we got this news pending in about 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes. So we got a channel with a break anyway. So whether you have that in one big go or not, possible. But I'm just going to call it like that for now. Fits break. So there is a bearish bar there, but I think that's risky. I do, especially after the breakout of here. Bars are quite large as well at the moment. After that little breakout, we often get one. Yeah, there we go. I mean, if you'd have got in there, I don't know how much you'd have got, but if you got on a tick below there, you'd have probably picked up a 1.25 or 1.5 at a squeeze maybe. But it's just way too risky to go short there, especially when we've had this break and a strong push up. I'd at least want to get out the top of here first and sort of make a matching break, but that may be the way up. We've had a push up and a bit of a consolidation, and then possibly another push up. So it is early yet, and as I say, we've got this news coming up in about 12 minutes, so that could change things. Yeah. Market makers may track back. Yeah. Yeah, it is frustrating when you say that, isn't it? I mean, it's the inexperienced guys who are coming into this. Now, most of us I would class as semi-sensible, as in we tend to not trade our own pots. So I know when I first started, I lost about $5,000. Now, I didn't have a lot to invest, but you can imagine people who may be in business or may have made a ton when, you know, on crypto, sort of accidentally made, you know, a couple of million on, and they think, how do I get, you know, let's get into trading. And I think most people, when they take up trading and they have a go at it, they have a little bit of success on a sim, maybe a few days. It's surprising how invincible you can feel even a couple of days worth of winning trades. Now, I lost $5,000, which is not a huge amount of money, but I bet there are people out there that are losing 10 times that and plus. So yeah, a lot of these market makers rely on inexperience. The money's got to come from somewhere, isn't it? So yeah, it is frustrating when we push up here and it gives you something like that, and you jump in there thinking, yeah, down the bottom, and all of a sudden comes down a point and a half, and then turns on you, takes out. But yeah, a lot of these times when you go in, that's why I tend to give things an extra tick now, because a lot of the times they'll take it up just to pick up the liquidity, where a stop is, where they know there's going to be some stops. And often when it does that, sometimes it ends up, it happened to me the other day. One time I just decided not to have an extra tick, and I would have got my money just for the sake of a tick. So on a losing trade, if it means the difference between losing and winning, I think it's worth the extra tick. And if you notice, when I get in on a signal bar, a lot of the time, if I'm, say, taking, I don't know, that signal bar, now we're taught by Mac to put an order in one tick above there. I tend to hover mine over the close, and the second it triggers up, I just drop it in place. So I've saved myself a tick anyway. You can see that one as it pushed up there, I tend to drop it. So the way I see it is I've saved a tick. So let's give it an extra tick, because sometimes it pulls you out of it. And it can save you 3.5 point loss just for the sake of $25. So I think it's worth it. Sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I won't, but it just seems when I do it, it doesn't seem to make a difference. And when I decide not to, it's that one that does. So it's nice to just give it that tiny little extra breathing space. And if you do look at some of Mac's older videos, he gave it 2-3 ticks in a lot of cases. So, you know, it can make the difference. It is a shame to lose a trade over a tick. There's nothing more frustrating, I think. My first day to trade, my 14 PAs passed using your code. I'll consider that as lucky then, shall we? But yeah, take time with them, bud. You've been around the block a bit, haven't you? I've seen you before quite a few times. I think you know enough to be able to take your time and keep going. There's nothing worse than losing PAs. I mean, this is the most I've had. The most I've had before is 5. Because while you're still managing to get the odd payment and still blow something, I think, in my opinion, you're best off having, you know, keeping it to 1 to 3 maybe. But you've been around for a while, so I'm guessing you know what you're doing. I want to be careful and would implement your style. It is a good style. It is a great trading style, I think. But it does take time to be able to implement it to the correct context of the market. That's the difficult bit. I thought it was just learning the strategy. It's not. Learning the strategy is the easy bit. It's applying it in the right time. So we've had a breakout of here. So going long here, is that a good idea? I don't think so. Not just yet. One, we got the news coming up, but if you look what's happened, it's triggered it by 2 ticks. Now, I believe we are pushing up, so it may work, but we've had a breakout here and it's pulled back in, and as we know, we're told by Mac, most breakouts fail. So I think it's more likely to fail underneath the market than at the top. But so many times I see a breakout here and the complete opposite here. So if that is a channel up and that is the bottom of the channel, that could come down and stop that out. But it could be a strong market, and in which case it'll work, which it's looking like it is. But it's extra risky, that is, because as we know, most breakouts fail. That one failed, this one may do. But sometimes it just, you know, it doesn't work that way. I mean, we got this news going up anyway, so you don't really want to be in a trade now anyway. So I normally take 2 points to 10 ticks. So my 10 ticks, if I was going to get out before the top, 10 ticks would be fine, but I'm still not yet convinced this isn't going to fail. Okay, so that you'd have got 10 ticks out of that. It's still a risky trade for me. Because depending, I mean, this looking like the start of being a bullish market, but so where do you draw this from here? In which case, if you do believe that's right, there is a vacant area here which could get filled. But there you go. I can't see how else I could incorporate that and any one of these with and include that, which I can't. But yeah, trick is just take your time. And if you haven't had PAs long, I would only trade one contract as well, or even micros maybe. Problem is, it stands to reason the more risk you have, the more stressful it is and the more emotions you've got kicking in. You know, you trade one contract and you trade what on the mini, you trade one micro, there's just no difference. $50, $5. You know, you lose 3 points in the micros, you've lost $15. You're not really going to bat an eyelid. But if you lose 3 points on the minis and you trade in a contract, it's $150. It is a bit different. And if you trade in 2 contracts, which I do, it's a $300 loss. And if you've got multiple accounts. So it's trying to find somewhere where you've got some balance so you can trade without the emotions affecting you too much. Makes perfect sense. You put $10 on a horse race, doesn't really matter if it wins or loses, really, does it? It's more of a bit of fun or a gimmick. But if you times that by 10, things are a little bit different. But this to me, have you seen? Yes, I have, yeah. I do watch a little bit of his stuff. I do watch. Anybody with more experience than me, I watch. I prescribe weed for the stress. Single malt I am. I'm a bit of a whiskey drinker. I'm not a smoker, so we just... I used to a bit when I was younger, but just used to knock me out. And I'm not really a smoker. So, but I'll just have a couple of doubles. I like me whiskey, I do. So I always have a bottle or 2 in the house. I've got a bottle of Lafroig Select at the moment downstairs. What's left of it. But yeah, I mean, you do have to have something to de-stress, that's for sure. When I've had a stressful day, I'll go and have a couple of doubles and that'll just chill me out a bit. Yeah, in fact, I was watching him the other day. I think he had a bit of a loss, if I remember rightly. And he packed in. Was that him? Because there's a few I watch. Was it on FOMC Day? I think it might have done. Did he have a loss or something on FOMC Day? But if $300 to $400 a day, if you can do that, you make yourself a fortune. But the thing is with trading, when you're winning trades, everything feels on top. You feel on top of the world. Nothing can go wrong. And then when you get a loss, the momentum slows a bit. You've got, everything's feeling fantastic. Your accounts are growing. As soon as you take a loss, it just puts you in a really uncomfortable place. And I have read somewhere before, trading is about being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. But I believe with time, when you're making consistent money, it's usually one and done. Good way to do it. Hey, Chris, how you doing, bud? Yeah, you'll see me do just one a lot of the time. The thing is about doing one trade is if I can get $200 on a trade, it's a good amount of money that per account. And the way I see it is if I can win an average of even 3 trades clear over a week, that's about $600 minus fee. Matt, this is Matt. I thought you're Chris. Chris Todman. No? Oh, sorry, of course you're Chris. Sorry, Matt, that is. Got you. I see what you mean. I thought you were talking about you. I thought you said Matt, this is. Sorry, that is. What was I saying? Yeah, I got you. I thought you said Matt, this is. Yeah. I think it's not a bad idea. If I can get 3 clear winners over a week, it's $600 minus fees. Now, that is over $2,000. But let's say you have an absolute shit month and you only earn half of that. If you've got 10 accounts, even on a crap month, you're earning $10,000 a month on a crap month. On a good month, $2,000 a month, $20,000. From all your accounts, and vice versa if you have a really good month, and that's just doing 10 accounts. You've got the potential to trade 20. I wish I was him. Yeah, you both, mate. Walk away, start for the win. Yeah, I see. When I have a win, I kind of think straight away, oh, thank God for that. My day is done. I'm done. You know what I mean? You know you don't need to do anything else for the rest of the day, and you're going to walk away in the green with a smile on your face. So yeah, I actually don't mind that. It depends how I feel, and it depends what the market's doing. I try and now base a lot of my trading on how I feel. Sometimes I feel a bit irritable, or I don't feel settled, or I'm a little bit nervous in trades. Then if I get a trade, then I usually pack it. And okay, we've got news coming up in about 30 seconds. So if you're in a trade, you want to be getting out of it. Yeah. He copy trades. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Do you know what I've been looking into? I've noticed that the Alpine guy used to trade on Ninja Trader, and then he moved to Quantower. And the guys that make these big amounts of money don't seem to use Ninja Trader. So why that is, I'm not sure, because I've still noticed they still use Rhythmic. And I thought Rhythmic was the problem. But I know Quantower, okay, news is imminent. So, relatively positive news again, I think. Or is it nothing really? Up and down. Let's see if it holds here. I think it probably will, because the news really is just at a push up and a pull down. It doesn't really look like negative news, so I'm expecting something to hold here. We'll see. But yeah, I'd love to trade. If Apex said to me tomorrow, okay, if you have any issues with Rhythmic, as long as you record it and we can see it was clearly Rhythmic, we'll reset your accounts. Then I straight away, it's a done deal. I'd trade 20 accounts. But while we always know in the back of our mind that just from time to time, Rhythmic can have issues. Now, if it's a blanket outage and it affects everyone, you're safe. Apex will write things for you. But I've heard the odd person saying it happened to me and a few people, and they didn't sort our accounts. So for that reason, that would stop me from trading 20 accounts. 20 accounts is my goal, but to trade them 10, 10 at a time. That way, if something ever does go tits up, you've got at least you've got those accounts left. 10 accounts left. I don't think I could cope with losing 20 accounts when it's not my fault. And I've said this from the start. If you sell a package to somebody, and part of that package is a piece of software that you're told you have to use, I don't care if it has some faults, that you should be responsible. That's my opinion. But yeah, if I can get that many accounts, I may email Apex and just say, look, what's the score here? Because otherwise, I won't trade them. So what is going on here? Have we just got a bigger channel from yesterday? Because oddly enough, touch. Or am I dreaming a bit here and hoping? Trouble is, if you get this wrong, you could be up shit creek without a paddle. So, leg down, a couple of attempts. Now, is this a trap? And it's going to trap some shorts and we're pushing up. I'm not so sure at the moment. Has anybody else got a bigger channel here, or is it just me? Oh, no, that bigger channel is getting less and less likely, I think. Okay, just for now, let's just get rid of it. Otherwise, I could get myself in a bit of spot bother there. Okay, that news is sorted. I'm going to move that up to there. You're well on your way, my friend. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that, mate. I traded that newsily. You can see that balance there. I set it 10 contracts for 6.25 points, and it shut up that quick. Normally, when it hits your stop, it stops you straight out. But when it hits your profit, it doesn't. But look at that. I set it for, it should have been $3,100, but it eventually triggered me out at $8,000. I don't quite know how that happened. So, what's going on here? There's a second entry short there. Is that risky? Perhaps this is coming down. I'm just not sure I can take that, really. There is so much support there. It is a second entry short. But one, it's a bit too far for the EMA, and I just don't think I can bring myself to go short there into there. Let the news play out a little longer. Yeah. It's interesting that there is a second entry short, and it does look like it's sort of skipping down, doesn't it? But in all honesty, I don't think you can ignore that. It could possibly maybe bring it down some. Might be a better option. So I don't know whether this other move up, if there is going to be one, is maybe looking less likely. Not sure about that. There is a possible second entry short, but we've just broken out of this range and pushed back in, so it could go higher. So nothing for me there. So we had a strong push out which triggered and instantly failed, came straight back down. Yeah, that's just hit and miss, isn't it, really? What's going on in the NQ? That fit. Okay, so we've broken out, pushed back in, so I'd like to push down and maybe test the underside of this, whether we're going to have a leg, a couple of legs and a leg. Okay, big bearish bar there, but I'm just not getting involved at the moment. I think it's likely to work, but it's 21 ticks. It's just more than I'm prepared to risk. It does look like it is working down, but even so, I ain't risking that much. Not a chance. Leg down, a couple of legs. I think it's likely it is going to work down, but that is not what you want to see when you risk 21 ticks. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I mean, I like the fact that it's testing this underside, but look at that. You do not want to see that. So if you went short a tick below there and a tick above it, it's like $575 with 8 accounts. Oh my God. I'll be throwing myself out the window, I think. Let's see if it holds. I hope it does, just in case anybody's in there for a short. Oh, that's painful. Oh, please tell me no one's shorted that. It's just a bit rocky at the moment. I mean, could even bring this down to here. Take that up. So maybe there. See, it's the news that's caused that spike. So, what is going on here? It's just getting a bit hard to read now. Yes, he's short in there for a start. I mean, it's too risky, really. I mean, if it came right back up here and the risk was a lot less, then, you know, maybe an option, but I mean, it does look like a spike in channel on the NQ, and we are looping down. Let's see what happens here. But there is also a lot of support around here, so you just don't know. So I've got no issues with calling that a spike and a channel. We've got a touch, and a touch. It does look like a channel, and it fits nice on the backside. But we have also got a lot of support down here, and it looks definitely more like a range here. Is this going to continue up after this? I'd suggest it probably isn't. Possible shallower spike and channel. What about here, are you? It definitely looks a little bit clearer on that. Well, I think that looks all right, actually. It's fitting nice at the bow. Okay, it's pushed out the bottom now, so I think by the looks of things, we may get a lot of this back. Still too dangerous to trade at the bottom here, because we've got all this support to get through from the EMA on the sorry, NQ. Let's have a look. Yeah, that visually looks good to me. Right, fade the gap. See, when this started going sideways, I thought we're going to have another leg up, and I was looking at something, you know, something on the lines of that maybe, or that. And often that's how we'll do it. We'll come sideways and then push up. But we had that news. It looked like it was sort of doing that. And then we had the news, a quick bullish bar followed by a bearish bar, and it came straight back. So I'm not sure we're going to get any more upward stuff. Okay, there is a failure there. which is tempting, but same again, it's 4 points, tick above, tick below. I'm just not taking that. There's no room to the lows. And not only that, we do seem to be coming away from here. So whether this is losing a little bit of momentum, but I think that's a little bit extra risky. It looks like it's coming down, but it's 16 ticks. Tick above, tick below. I'm not risking $450 on 8 accounts on that when there's no room left to the lows. It's just too big at the moment. That ATR's got to come down really to get me into a trade, or I've got to get in on a limit order. I mean, you could get in there now if you wanted to on a limit order, but we're at support now. Look at that on the NQ. We're struggling there, so we could get a break. And it may come back to this EMA, so look at that. Last thing you want to do is lose that. It's just not enough room to the lows. That body really needs to do it. The stem needs to be, wick needs to be closer to here really, to make that a solid trade. But yeah, look at that. So 2 legs up. If you're going to take a trade, this is really the better place to do it. That's a smaller risk. Let's leave 7 ticks, that is. That is a second entry short there. It's very tempting, that, actually.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, at least we're back to here. Technically, could get a second entry short at the moment, though. We're in a bit of congestion on this NQ, so the safest course of action really is just to sit tight at the minute. We've I mean, that doesn't look that bad, does it? Right, so
Order submitted.
Oh, sodding hell, these bars are massive. It is a second entry short, really, isn't it? Well, technically that's the signal bar, but you get what I'm saying. 2 legs up. 18 ticks though. Sod that. Let's see if it triggers it and comes back a bit and looks nice on the looks nice on the NQ. It hasn't triggered though. That's my problem. Maybe a lower high. Whoa.
Order cancelled.
Okay, that's struggling to get through there a bit. So we may get a break here. Short-term trend up, looks like it's in play. Kitri, how you doing? I am late. Did I miss anything? Not really, mate. No trades, really. We've had a couple of lots of news, so it's a little bit whipping around a little bit. So maybe a leg and a leg. Break from this channel, possibly. Yeah, you haven't missed much, mate. So channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. Who knows? It's coming away. We're fitting nice if this is a channel, but then we come further away and further away, even further from there. So I expected a break. See, the NQ for me is still looking bearish. We have found some support here. But if we can get back and look nice here, it may encourage some sellers to get in. But you've got to be careful you don't get caught on the wrong end of an uptrend. And that ATR is around 3 at the moment, so these bars are getting shallower angle for the spike channel. There's something in it. Yeah, they probably will now. Yeah, that's better. So we've been out, so it may have gone too far for us to get in now, really. I think it's just going to drop. If this NQ gets below these bunch of bars here, there's a higher low there, you may stay in. If it gets below here, then I'd say it's going to have a good push down, but I don't think it's going to come back enough for us to get in, unfortunately. But yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? There is a lower high there. Just too far, really, unfortunately. If we can get back to that EMA and close below there, then that may interest me. But same again, we're still struggling on that NQ. Not terrible, but 12 ticks, 3.5 point risk. There's such a lot of support here, see. If it gets through it, it'll rank down. Maybe it's going to now. But I'm guessing after that push up, there's going to be some stops around there. They're trying to stop this from coming down. Push up like that, pull back to support. If it gets below there, it's game over, I think, but I'm not convinced it's going to. Yeah, maybe it will. There's definitely some stops around here. There's a bit of a battle going on, isn't there? Yeah, this is coming down, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Once it got below there, it was game over, really, wasn't it? Unfortunately, I just couldn't take that one while we were still struggling to get through support. But I don't think it was terrible. But for me, I have this thing. I listened to Mac a bit on this. He wouldn't call that a lower high. He'd say it's gone too far. So for me, it's a channel with a first entry. That short would have been a good entry. Trouble is, my slight concern is this. It's getting a little bit congested along here, and I would prefer it to come a bit higher and then have the top of that body below that line. I know what I think's happening. For me, it's coming down. That's what I think. My gut feeling tells me. Obviously, we're in a downtrend anyway, but on that NQ, it's really struggled to get below it. Too far, yeah. A lot of people call those lower highs, and I have myself. But really, it's just a first entry, isn't it? It's just a break of a channel with a first entry, so it's really gone too far for a lower high. If we'd gone then a couple of bars and it was here, then yeah, but it's only really a first entry, and we could trigger it, come back up, because it still is a little bit congested around here. So it's one of those ones which would probably work, but it was a $350 risk, and I've got 8 accounts, and I'm not prepared to risk that on that. It's not that a good a trade for me. If we had 2 legs up, and the bottom of the top of that bar was wedged under here, the EMA and this line here, then that's a trade I'd go for. But yeah, see, I mean, we've broken below that support, but instantly pushed back up. So we just seem to be struggling, and that's why I held back on going short. It wasn't a great setup, that. It actually, technically, I mean, I get why some people say it's a lower high, because it is, but according to Mac, it's gone too far. And I think if we're talking technically, there is a second entry short there, but it's a bit congested. And it may work for a bit, but we're still above support here, so I'm just going to stay out of that one. We've got a leg, 2 legs. It may work, but we're close to the low of this channel. It's 15 ticks again, a tick above, tick below. I'm not risking over $400 just to make 2 points. There's no room to the lows. Is it going to work? Possibly, but we could get a leg up. It's a bit sideways. It could trigger that and push up. we're really struggling on this NQ to stay below there. We pushed down and closed, but then instantly triggered it and pushed straight back up to the EMA. So, I mean, this could technically go higher now. And if you took, well, yeah, you don't want to be seeing that. It is congested and sideways, so it's just got danger written all over there. Worked at the time. Yeah, just because a trade, I mean, we know that by now, don't we? Just because a trade works doesn't necessarily mean it was a good setup. If there'd have been 2 pushes and we'd have got a bar fit in, I always find the closer the top of that red bar is there to the underside of that EMA, the safer it is, and the more traders we will get involved. But yeah, leg and a leg close to this bottom, leg and a leg back up. But look at that, all that support we managed to get through, but then we pushed straight back in. So I'm not convinced this upward move is finished. Maybe it's just having another go. Now, that's interesting. But because I'm not sure, is that a good setup? I don't think it's a bad setup. I'm just... It happened and it didn't really give you enough time to get in. Second entry short, yeah. I don't think it's bad. It's clear 2 legs up. My slight concern is at the moment is we're really struggling on that NQ to stay below that line. And it is congested and sideways, so I wouldn't have gone short there because of the congestion. So that's what kept me out of here, because it could trigger you and push back up to this line on a single account. Yeah. Yeah, I'd risk an evaluation on it in a second, but because, it's clearly 2 legs. I just don't like where it is at the moment. And it's, yeah, you know what it's like. It goes a lot on. After a while, you don't need to sort of look so much. It's just you can look at something and have that gut feeling. If we'd have had 2 legs up and the top of that bar was snug under there, then I'd have taken that. But, that ATR is quite high, so the risk's a little more at the moment, and it is still... there's still a lot of volume coming in, so it is shopping around a little bit. So we're clearly coming down at the moment. It's just we seem to go sideways, and you can see how many times it's fighting around here. So you just don't know. It could bounce here and push up. I mean, is there a range there? What's the story? There's clearly some support there, no argument. So sometimes having the NQ will keep you out of trades that will win, but it'll also keep you out of trades that won't. And I think it's more valuable to keep you out of losing trades rather than to help you with winning trades. But yeah, took on a single account, absolutely. If I had a couple of accounts, just 2 or something, yeah, I'd switch over to just 1 and take it. It's worth a smaller risk. Will Mac market? Yeah. In this, yeah, for sure he will. But in real time, it is, although it's still coming down, it's still a bit choppy. But yeah, I mean, when you see it happen, but there is a possibility it could trigger it and come up a tiny bit higher than that to the top. But it's a clear second entry short. It's clear 2 legs up. But yeah, you just get a feeling now. You have to go with your gut feeling because... experience, I think in jobs with experience, is not something you can put your finger on sometimes. Just experience says to you, I really need to leave this one or I should take it. And this is one of those jobs, really. It's not black and white. There is a lot of grey area, but it is down to experience. And that's where your gut feeling comes from, experience. But look at this on the NQ now, see. It's rallying up, so Are we going to get a push up, a load of sideways, multiple attempts to go lower and then up? Excuse me. That's why I never took that short, because it's struggling to get below here, and it can just turn. Reason being, it could be the bottom of a range, and look at it so far. There's a lot of sideways, with the exception of these pushes up, which that was to do with the news. And as we get so far down, we start to go sideways again. But look at that. That's a reason I just didn't assume this was going to continue down. But on an evaluation, yeah, I'd have jumped all over that. Because, it's, you know, I think when you start to trade with money in PA accounts, and you can hold them, I think you just get a little bit extra cautious. And if there's a doubt, I think sometimes you're better off just to stay out of it and just let it go by. Now, if you leave a trade, as much as you might find it hard, I used to hate leaving trades. I used to itch to get into a trade. Now I've got no issues with it. I just wait for a feeling. And if I look at it and go, you'll hear me say, I like that, and I'll just jump straight in. And most of those times they will win. Bouncing off the 50% of the initial 8:30 candle news. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely something in that, isn't there? When you go from here or here. Where'd you go to there, did you? Or here? Where's the 50%? I don't know where you're looking at from that initial candle, yeah. I'm not sure where you go from there. So there's 50% there, isn't there? Okay, excuse me, just for a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Okay, so that is a channel, that is a break. This looks like it's making a new low. There's probably a bigger channel in play on the NQ, which we didn't adjust for. That looks better. So this is a break, so I expect it to come down. Couple of legs up, second entry short off here. I got a bad feeling thinking I'm skipping the day. At least my payer's got no Nikon Z8. Not Porsche Alpine, Nikon Z8. I'm not familiar with the modern stuff now. I've got a Canon 5D Mark II, which is quite a bit of an old camera now. Full frame camera, but I think that's what you're on about. Z8. I do like my photography. Second entry short off here might be nice. Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Have a great weekend. Yeah, it is getting a bit... This for me is coming down, but unfortunately it's not going to give us a setup, I don't think. They've all gone mirrorless now, I think, haven't they, a lot of cameras? Let's see if we get a failure here. Ooh.
Order submitted.
How big's that bar going to be?
Order cancelled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Push. Come on, you know you want to.
Order
Beautiful.
filled.
I like that one. Nice failure there. Trapping some longs right on the underside of this. In and out. Beautiful. Looking nice on here as well. Nice channel with a clear break. Pushed strongly through the MA. Came back lower high. This has got bearish written all over it. I like that. Strike guard one, strike guard twice. Also a second entry long. Channel up. Second entry long. Trigger in and then down. So... that's what I like. You took 4 points on that one. Good on you, mate. Yeah, the thing is, when the ATR's higher, price moves quicker. Cheers, Chris. Price moves quicker. It is worth taking a bit extra money. And the ATR, I don't know what's the average ATR lately. Around about 2, maybe. Maybe a bit more, but that's about 50% higher. So I think that 3 points or something like that is not a bad... Where did I get in there, didn't I? So, yeah. I'm surprised that came back, to be fair. I really am. I thought that was going to push straight below there. And not only that, we've come down and bounced. Have you noticed on the NQ? It's still probably going to come down, but we've bounced off the top of that line there and pushed back up. That lower high triggered... it's probably gone too far for a lower high, but I didn't expect that. I thought this was going to come straight down. Surprise. Yeah, exactly. Now, if you look at the NQ, we got the channel down, we got one push up, second push up. It's just having a second go. I think it's more of a penguin. Although penguin stopped, and he's packed it in. It may just be 2 attempts. This is a lower attempt to get higher. Yeah, penguin's given up, hasn't he? He's given up streaming, and he's just trading quietly now. He's walked away from the social media side, hasn't he? Second entry long, which is a shame, really, because he's definitely a trader with some talent, in my opinion. Plus 2. I had an email for him. He was saying he's given up. Let me see if I can find it. Where's that gone? Which is a shame, actually, because he's a real talent. I think this is going to continue on down to break the lows. We got a channel down. So he's good, but I couldn't follow his analysis. To modify from Pat, I wish him well. Yeah. Yeah, he's if I got a trader buddy of mine said in his opinion he was bordering on genius. But yeah, he's I think you should upload think you should reload your chart. Just a quick question before I do. I have reloaded it. Is anybody else's chart look different than mine? If it does, I'll reload it. Otherwise, it may just be yours, Adnan. Okay, so channel down, 1 attempt tie, a 2nd attempt tie. If we can push through this EMA on the NQ, this is, to me, is going to come down. Same. Mine is the same as yours. Chad, yours is the same. I didn't get his analysis. Yeah. Yeah, Adnan, try reloading yours. I have done mine, bud, but if more people's the same, I'll leave it. Let me have a look. Community updates. This was just a recent one I had. If you remain on the bill cycle, you'll be charged 50 cents this month. I don't plan on taking down the site yet. But just to know as long as your account remains. But yeah, he is packing in, which is a shame. Where's the original? I can't find his original one. But yeah, he's packing in, he's stopping. Chart looks fine to me, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a shame, really, because he's a nice guy and he's really good at what he does. What is going on here? P. Wilson is back. Yeah, I noticed last night. I saw his I saw his video. Well, a bit of his video anyway. I think he's on the. He did try for the. I mean, in my and this is just my opinion, so don't get offended or anything. I think the $300,000 accounts. I just think they're a waste of time, and I'll explain. He's got a deal from the market makers to stop exposing their secrets. Well, Wilson has. Yeah, I think the $300,000 ones. I remember listening to that Vince guy. Okay, channel down, leg and a leg. Is this coming down? We're way above the EMA on the what's it? I think there's a good chance it will, but I'm just staying out of here because I don't want to give. You guys always like to be green on a Friday, and I'm no different. So I'm staying out of this. It could turn. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, do you remember? I saw the interview with that Vince, the one that took that $800,000 out of his account. I think it was the biggest payment at the time, and he said he always planned on having $300,000 accounts. But he even said, even now, he trades on average 2 to 3 contracts a time. I don't know if it's just worth it trading more and more. You can trade up to 10 accounts. It's not about how many accounts you can trade, it's how much money you've got in the bank, and you can have as much money that you've made in a $50,000 account than you can in a $300,000 account. So none of that, you've got to pay $20,000, you've got to make $20,000 to pass the thing, and then it's about £300 for the lifetime fee. So it's just not worth it. I think the $50,000 one is perfect. Maybe even the 25 is probably the next best thing, but I think that $300,000. I mean, if you've got it and you've passed it and you've paid for it and you traded it, then fine. I mean, yeah, you got to make $20,000, and I think as Wilson was doing it, he was taking risks. Don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest risk taker when it comes to valuations, and I think he started with 20 and then ended up with 10 and then 5 and then ended up losing them, but I think he's come back to the 50,000. I think that's the sweet spot. It's a lot easier to pass them. It makes more sense to me. So there is a failure there. There's like a second entry short, which is triggered, and this looks like it's going up. So this now, I mean, are we more just in a range now on that NQ? I think it's certainly possible. It really struggled to get down, and now we've had a couple of legs up. But he's an awfully nice guy, Wilson is. I've spoken to him a couple of times, quite a few times, a couple of dozen times by email, and he's a really nice guy. And I think he was advised to take some time off, whether it was to do with the stress of the trading or whether it was something else. But he's a lovely guy, and I'm pretty sure he'll do fine out of trading. But it does take time. It's almost a case of teasing those emotions up little steps at a time. If you go too big, too quick, if you all of a sudden you're trading 20p accounts and you lose $300, you're down $6,000, it's very hard to comprehend how that affects your brain. So if you don't trade more than 4 contracts once your account is beyond the trading 25, it's no different. Absolutely. That's why I think I just don't think it costs more. You've got to pass with getting $20,000, which it's horrendous compared to you've got a $2,500 drawdown and you've got to make $3,000 on a 50k account, and you've got a $7,500 drawdown, but you've got to make 20,000. And like you say, if you build up to who was it's got 10. What's his name? Is it not Trades by Matt? Who's the other guy? Not Trades by Matt. Patrick Welland. He's got $50,000 accounts, and he's got $10,000 which he's built up in each account. So you can have $10,000 in each account, $50,000 in each account. You can only trade the size of contract size that you've got the money to back it up. So there's no point being able to trade for 38 or 40 contracts. It's just so much more costly. So I think 50 is the sweet spot. I like 50. But some people still say there was that guy I started watching, the Maverick guy. He made a good point about taking the 25. But everyone's got their own thought process, haven't they? So we've all got to make our own decisions and that. I am surprised that I thought that was going to smash straight through this bottom. Actually, it was one tick off the lows, wasn't it? One tick off a matching bottom. I thought it looked a bit more, but it was only a tick. So maybe that's close enough. This doesn't look like it's in a hurry to come down now. I'd say we're on our way back up here, I think. Have you got to pay? Yeah, I had one last month. I've got one this month coming. And I've got 2 more accounts, about $700 off another payment. So I've only really had 1 to 3 PAs really, but about 6 weeks ago, the emotions which was causing me to blow the accounts just disappeared. And I didn't have a problem making the money. I could build the account, but it was just when it goes tits up. Dollars are you withdrawing? $2,000. Can you see these? Can you? Yeah, you can. $2,000 on that one, and I've got 2 at 19. One at 19, and one at just 1970, anyways. And I'll take one of each other. But when it pays for itself, I'll reduce it down to 1 contract and then just forget about it and trade it in the background just for 1 contract. When it gets up above $1,500, I'll go back up to 2 contracts. And then what I'll do, because that one is effectively paid for itself, I'm just going to build it up to maybe over 5,000 and something like that. You're withdrawing right when you get the 20. Yeah. Like the Alpine guy does, and his theory is then it's already paid for itself, so he doesn't have to worry about losing it. So I'm just going to turn it on to 1 contract and then just trade it up to $5,000 and then try and make a regular monthly off it. Now, what I may do is just take maybe 1 to 2 per month. This is the plan, 1 to 2 per month, and maybe leave 5 and don't withdraw and let them build up to maybe. But what I want to try and do is withdraw at least $2,000 out of all these accounts, even off just one of them, and let some build. So what I want to try and do, I've got another one's passed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'll be 10 accounts. And then I want to build another 10 over the next few months and then trade them 10 and 10. I'll never trade them all at the same time, unless Apex give me their solemn promise that if anything goes wrong with Rhythmic, they'll cough up. So that's the plan. But yeah, once the accounts pay for itself, but I'm not going to do that with all the accounts, maybe just 1 to 2 per month, and then let the rest build. But I do like the way Patrick Welland does his. He's got 20 accounts and he's built them up to $60,000. So he's got $10,000 of profit in there. And I think he just trades 2 contracts. So that's a comfortable amount there to not have the stress. You know, it'd be nice to get a comfortable amount in there. Having said that, he has $200,000, which he could technically withdraw. Now, if something ever happened to Apex and they went tits up, you can kiss goodbye to that money. So, you know, whether I would build up to something like that, and after the 3 months, I'm sure he mentioned after 3 months he may take a chunk of it. And then what I'd love to do is slowly build up my own portfolio, maybe, you know, put a little bit in that. My own brokerage and just my own broker's account and just trade my own account as well. But so that's what I'd like to do. That's the plan. But for the moment, it's just nice to trade without getting that overwhelming lack of control when I lose a trade, when I have a losing day. And I had a losing day the day before yesterday. I think I was down 340 per account, but I managed to walk away. I had no urges to come back, where I would have no self-control, and there's no way I'd have been able to walk away from that 6 weeks ago. But I can do it quite happily now. I've not got a problem, because I realise is if I carry on trading, I blow the accounts, I'm starting tomorrow on evaluations, whereas if I come back tomorrow, I've still got the rest of my account. So finally, something in my brain has just decided to change gear, and I feel like now I'm starting to come out of that slump. Look, has anybody seen that diagram on Sam's site? I'll bring it in again. You might hear him a second. I've just popped. Oh my crikey. Sam's taken some trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sam's taken 10 trades so far. He's had a busy morning. No, I didn't buy it, Edward. I decided to buy it, and I settled myself and went, right, I'm gonna buy this thing. And then all of a sudden, I felt like there was a weight taken off my shoulders, and I started to relax. So I just went with it, and it never came back. So it's weird. Let me just find that diagram. Trader psychology. Here we go. So this is useful if no one's ever seen this. I think most of you have. The journey of a trader. So, if no one's seen this, I've seen this diagram before, maybe a couple of years ago. So this is basically you start learning to trade, and you're on a sim and you get a few winners, and then you decide this is a lot easier than I thought it was, so let's put some money in it, and then all of a sudden you get loss, and it drops like a stone, and then you go through this period, this pivoting and drifting, a little bit of profit but mostly loss, a little bit of profit but mostly loss. And by the time you get to this bit here, something starts to go in your head that, do I quit or continue? I asked myself that question quite a few times. It's getting to the stage now where I'm getting fed up of throwing money away. And I started to think about it. And what with making the decision about the guardian angel, I started to feel like now I feel like someone's had their hand on top of my head trying to keep me underwater, and I feel like now I can look up and look around, and the overwhelming emotions aren't keeping me stuck under that water. So I'm getting this starting to work feeling now. And then you get break even, optimism, maturity, and success. I'm definitely maturing as a trader because I'm not making rash decisions as quick. I'm having a little bit of time to think. But it's almost like growing up from a baby to a child. And it's tiny little steps year after year after year, isn't it? And I think that's where, hello Sam, I was just talking about you, mate. Just got your diagram. We're just talking about, I'm thinking I'm around this area now. And I noticed you've been busy this morning. Just got put out to... Oh, have you really? Good on you, mate. Congratulations. I've not had mine approved yet. When did I put them in? On the 1st, I think, yeah. But yeah, if no one's seen that, it's on Sam's site. There's Sam's site there. 5 Trader, what you guys know him by now. And there's his website. Ignore that. But yeah, the trading psychology. It's interesting that to look at it, but it makes perfect sense. If you've been on this journey, you've experienced that, and you'll be experiencing that now for a while, I think, and then you get that, do I give up? Do I carry on? And then something starts to change in your brain and you start to get that little bit of an upside, and then but yeah, interesting. I noticed you've had a busy morning, Sam. So how's your other account doing? Okay, your other account's up as well. Good on you, mate. And you've had them taken out your account yet, have I yet? No, I haven't. Good on you, mate. So you're safe to go now. So what are you going to buy, mate? What are you going to buy? Got carried away with I can tell that, mate. It is easy done, though, mate. You seem to be where I was, I would say, 6 months ago. I was taking just masses amount of trades, and then I slowly took a bit less and a bit less and a bit less. But good on you, mate. I haven't had mine approved yet. I thought I will have done. Let me just have a wee check. I did check this morning because you want to get on and yeah. No, mine still says pending. Hopefully it'll be done. Well, it won't matter today anyway. But yeah, it is. Just wondering if this is going to come down. But I took that failure there, which actually worked really quick until it bounced. So I traded the news earlier as well, Sam. There, and I set 6 1/4 ticks to get $3,000, and it shot up that quick. It gave me $8,000. It actually took me out, or triggered me for $8,300. So it's a good job you didn't accidentally trade a PA account, because you'd have some explaining to do to Apex how you managed to make $8,000 in one trade. So we're going to get started. In fact, I'm finishing early today anyway. I'm up a nice amount today. On 8 accounts, that's $2,000 on 8 accounts. So, considering I had that losing day, that red day, it's not been a bad week. Considering it's not been a great week, it's at least it's been a profitable week. Yeah, I only set it at 6 points at a tick, and for some reason it just, well, you'd think it would take you out, because usually when it hits your stop, when it hits your profit, you've got to push through it. But when it hits your stop, it kills it. But I'm surprised. I've been in trades like that, but I didn't realise it could actually, even though you had an order is for six points at a tick. You still think it would eventually take you out there, but it went out that quick. The scary bit is, what if it went the other way? Does that mean if you accidentally trade one of your accounts, you could be looking at an $8,000 loss? Weird, isn't it? Mind you, having said that, I went 5 times normal, so it'd be it'd be 800, wouldn't it? $800? I don't know. I can't think, but yeah, no. It does make me look quite clever, doesn't it? Or completely lucky. Are we coming down and making a new low? I think. Possible. Leg and a leg, which would take us below here. So, do you know what, folks? I'm going to finish there, actually. It's Friday. There's nothing nicer to be green on a Friday, so I ain't taking any more trades. So, I'm going to finish early, and I'm going to go and drink a couple of glasses of Lafroig and leave you all to it. So, I hope you get a good setup for the day. That ATR is slowing down a bit, so risks are coming down a little bit. So, look, have a great trading day, and have a great weekend. And I'll be back on Monday, and hopefully we'll continue with this market. So stay safe, have a great weekend with your families and that, and I'll be back on Monday. So bye for now.